All right, guys, so watch this for Friday, June 24th. Start off with the SPY. We had a nice, strong run today, and it's up higher than that in after hours. So the closer we get to the evening, I assume, I haven't had a TV on all day. I suppose I should have today, but I assume that it's looking like Great Britain will remain in the European Union because the market seems to like it. And so, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But as long as that doesn't change, as long as it doesn't come out where they are going to exit the European Union, then tomorrow, these stocks I'm getting ready to show are relevant. All right. If there is a Brexit, then you can take this list, wad it up into a tight little ball, and throw it away. All right. So here we go. HTBX. Now this isn't like me. I don't ever put stocks under $1 on watch. But this one is just coming out of this really tight base and a nice volume spike today, closing near its highs. So that one might just continue tomorrow. I think that one's worth having on watch. It's not over the counter or anything. I already checked, and doesn't really have a big float for an 80-cent stock either. So I'm going to watch that one for a red to green, something like that tomorrow. I think it'd be worth a shot. ZAIS, this one had a big volume spike today and really strong. I'm going to look for a red to green in that tomorrow. This was my biggest call in the chat room all year, and I called it when it looked like this. All right. Reason for the call: had an early spike, kind of put it on my radar and kind of flagged, and then pushed again on volume during lunch. So I wasn't going to call that flag break, but it was getting pretty tight, and I checked the daily chart. And you saw that volume. I realized at this point that this thing had massive volume, relative volume. Remember that, relative volume. It traded 6.76 million shares today, but I don't know what this thing averages. Just a couple days ago, I'll try to give you an example. It traded 42,000, 9,000 one day, 6,000 one day, so you can understand with this kind of volume, relatively speaking, this was a big volume day for this stock. So I thought, hey, I like it over this tight little flag. So I called it at 230 with a 220 stop. And right there we get the 230. I said the next domino we want to follow would be a high of day break. We got that. And the thing just off to the races, went over a double. It went over 460 from 230 on a dime risk. And anytime I find a stock that can move like that, I'm going to put it back on watch the next day. Maybe we get a low risk setup. I certainly don't want to chase. It's not like I'm going to buy it at the open, irregardless, but we'll see. It might give us another really tight flag tomorrow. All right, so that one goes on watch. ZDGE, relatively new issue, so there's not a lot to go on. But when you look at this day, let me bring this up so I can see the numbers. Whenever I hover over a candle, you'll see the numbers over here. So on this day, it had a low of 398 and a high of 669. So that's a massive move in one day. Came back down and it's been chopping around for over a week. Then today, a volume spike. Didn't close near its highs, but this is a good candidate for a follow-through day tomorrow. I like the way that thing, it's a lower float stock and looks pretty good to me. All right, so keep it on your radar. SRPT has nice support here, 2 green candles, but the real reason this is on watch is because it got an intraday spike today on big volume, over 500,000 shares in 5 minutes. Briefly took out yesterday's high, which was 1804. It went to 1810. So I really like this over 1810 tomorrow. Even though on the daily you don't really see much, because I was trading today and saw that spike, I like it over 1810. As a matter of fact, as I'm babbling, I'm going to put 1811 in my notes. All right, so CETX had this big spike. It was on watch today. No calls in it today. But you know what? It closed kind of strong at the end. Well, actually, I don't want to say strong. It stayed in a narrow range all day. So over today's high, over 368. This one might make a move back toward that 405. And who knows, maybe over that. So doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. Not in love with this chart, but it's worth having on a chart. PAY had this nice spike. What day is this? All right, this is Thursday, so it had a nice spike on Wednesday, and then a very quiet kind of inside day near the high of the range today. So over today's high, 1965. Then you have Wednesday's high of 1966. So basically, this is anywhere near 1970. You break the 2-day high. Maybe this makes a quick move to 20 and maybe rips through it. So we'll keep PAY on watch. Kind of have the same setup in RH. Got decimated just like Pay. Go back and look at Pay again, right? decimated, and it took a while. It took about a week to get a bounce, a little over a week. RH got decimated, but really kind of based nicely right above 25, and then broke out of that range on Wednesday, and just like Pay, quiet inside the range day near the highs of that big breakout on today. Okay, so in my notes, I've got 28.10 as a break of today's high, and also you look to the left, 28.25. I don't have that written down, but I will right now. 28.25 is just the secondary catalyst. So if you break today's high tomorrow, then you might push through that high, and then, you know, anything's possible. This one might just really rip higher, so got to be some shorts caught in that if it does take off higher. BSPM, I've had this on Bounce Watch for a few days. I've had, it's not giving me any kind of setup, but we got another kind of big day down today, and now you're down, getting back to maybe a 200-day test from above, which was 309. You broke down below the 20-day, so this is a pretty good bounce play setup. Look at the volume on the way up and the volume on the way down. I do think this is worth watching for a turn tomorrow. That's BSPM, sorry. And then NYMX had the gap up, spike, and then today, this isn't really bullish because it's, you know, it's in the lower half of Wednesday's range, but at the same time, it might just turn back up and give us a nice bounce. So I don't love it, but we'll have it on watch. And this is really an obscure one too. DELT had this spike that ran it to, let's see, what was the high here? 260-ish, and then just a quiet inside day, and even, you know, you're getting really coiled here. So I like this over today's high, 154. Could be worth a shot. You know, don't bet the farm on this one, though. It's super thin and trades a little weird. I don't love this one. I really don't love this list. If I had to give you the most interesting for tomorrow, it would probably be, and I'll rip through these real quick, ZDGE. I think that one might give a nice percentage move tomorrow. HTBX, which I almost never trade stocks under $1. I like both the PAY and RH, maybe. And SRPT can really move when it moves, so keep that one on. And then the other ones feel a little less exciting to me for tomorrow. All right, so anyway, but something like this ZAIS, again, I don't love it tomorrow because of that big move, but that is one you want to watch all next week. All right, so just say it does nothing tomorrow, and then you get a few lower highs, and it comes down around $3. You know, on Wednesday or something, that one could give a nice secondary move. I make my living off of these lower priced recent high flyers. So this one is more than recent; it's today. So tomorrow we don't want to become a chaser, but I literally populate all my lists with recent. And when I say recent, I mean over the last 5 days. I don't go back really any farther than that. Recent high flyers have 6 monitors with tons of charts on them. So when things are going well, I'm able to see the setups before they can give me that nice secondary move. So anyway, that's my strategy in a nutshell. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.